parents were very family-oriented. They were very committed to their children and to giving us a solid start in our lives. My father had a very strong work ethic, and he taught that to his children. I've been the amateur family genealogist for I started it about 30 years ago. I really enjoyed doing the research on the family. I found that on my dad's side of the family, we were related to Wyatt Earp. My birthday came up in 2016, and my oldest siblings all got together and decided to give me the DNA test as a birthday gift from all of them. So I was very quick about submitting the test so that we could get the results back. What I didn't expect was that it matched you to people who also tested with that same company, so that you could see who you share DNA with, and it would sort the matches by who you share the most with. Several months later, my oldest brother decided he was going to take the test as well, and his results came in. There was somebody else that I shared more DNA with than I did my own brother. It was just very odd to me that I shared more DNA with a total stranger than I do with the man that I grew up with. That didn't make sense to me. From there, I reached out to the DNA testing company, and the woman on the other end of this chat immediately knew what she was looking at, and she typed back, "That means he is your half-brother." And I looked at the screen and I just backed up. And there was this long, awkward pause, and I knew at that moment that what I was seeing was not natural, which meant I was probably about to black out. This person I didn't know was clearly a paternal match.
Wow. What Catherine found out from her DNA test is that the man who raised her was not her biological father. She joins us now. Catherine, thank you for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me.
And that's emotional for you. You're tearing up while you watch that.
Yeah, feeling that pain came back.
Because it's not, I mean, it's interesting for people on the outside, for somebody who's living it. It can be kind of devastating in the moment.
Oh, it was. It was. I feel like I've come a long way in the past 15 months since I made my discovery, but going back and reliving it by watching this just now just brought it all back.
So when the woman said to you that means he's your half-brother, your sibling, who you thought was your full biological brother all growing up.
Right.
Did you realize what that meant? That he's just your half-brother? What that meant about your parents and so on?
My respect for science was telling me that this was a fact that I needed to accept, but my heart was having a real hard time with it because it never, ever, ever occurred to me that this could even be possible.
Because then you have to start to wonder, like, well, is this true for, like, what's the deal with me and all my siblings? Like, how do we relate to one another?
Right. It made me question everything.
And so what did you find out? That they are all full, for lack of a better word, full biological siblings, and you are the one who is a half to them?
Right. Of my 4 siblings that I grew up with, 3 of them have tested so far, and they have confirmed that they are full siblings and they share DNA with our dad's side of the family. Mm-hmm. I'm the odd one out.
But you don't, right?
I don't.
Were your parents alive when you got that result?
No, they had been passed away years before.
So now you have to become a detective.
Yes.
Right? To try to figure out, well, what's the story there?
Right.
So what'd you do?
Well, the first thing I did was try to determine who this first person was that I shared the most DNA with. So I reached out through email to this person, and fortunately for me, she responded immediately. And between the two of us, we did our own digging around and asking questions and figured out that my mother worked for her dad for a brief period of time back in 1960. And she said, "I'm certain I'm your half-sister."
So you and she are half-sisters through your father.
Through my biological father.
Through your biological father, not the man who raised you.
Exactly.
And is there a reason she was more related to you on the DNA test than your brother? I mean, they're both half-siblings.
Well, there's an average rating on how they determine who half-siblings are versus who whole siblings are. And she was within that range. She just happened to share a little more DNA than my brother did.
Okay.